might be the terrible forests of childhood imaginations derived from books. It might be the fire of autumn in a West Yorkshire clough. It might be a laburnum tree in Molesley. It might be the ghosts of trees felled by the Stone Age men of Orkney. My forest is Epping Forest. Epping Forest is a 12-mile long, 6,000 acres green snake of beech, hornbeam, common oak and silver birch that stretches from the edges of the urban and suburban, from London's each end to the Lake Essex countryside beyond. As a child, I walked into Epping Forest through a picture. The Victorian print on the magnolia wall of my parents' living room was the portal that took me there. Branches reached out from the black and white ink into a dismal glade, threatening to drag me into their hollow, secret places, their gnarls and walls. In the sky were wind-blown scraps of birds. A man, ragged and set about in the gale, trudged slowly towards the dark mass of the distant forest. He seemed so insubstantial to me, an inhuman wraith, or perhaps a man doomed, about to be swallowed up and never released. I stood on a chair and stared at this picture for hours, at once compelled by it, yet struck by an unnerving dread. Now, at the age of 36, I found myself sitting opposite a man just like this etched wanderer in the kitchen of my uncle and auntie's house in Thaden Boys, a village towards the northern end of the forest. I won't refer to him by name because he doesn't want to be found. I don't want to take away his Epping Forest, a place he couldn't have expected to see again on that day a few years ago when he climbed onto a chair, fastened a dog leash to a light fitting and fashioned a noose to put around his neck. The man who lived in the forest was matter of fact and bright-eyed that morning. My auntie passed him a biscuit and asked what happened to the mobile phone he'd been given in case of emergencies when he was alone in his camp somewhere out in the woods. He just looked at her, bemused. "I don't mind," he said. "I'm a forest spirit. I'm just more content getting rid of the radio, the telephone, the trappings." Beneath Fox whisker brows, his large round eyes were an intense blue. He peered at me inquisitively, clearly wondering who I was and why I was there. To be honest, I was as perplexed as he was. I was distracted, conscious that last time I'd been in this house, everything had been different. For me, the forest was becoming a place of vulgar chaos, more and more like that dramatic picture that had been on my parents' living room wall. In the half-light, the misshapen forms of the trees within the forest seemed to be moving, boiling up out of the ground like lava. The trees of Epping Forest have a fantastical experience thanks to centuries of pollarding, the process of forest management whereby they're cut on a regular cycle for firewood or building materials. Once cut, the tree sends up new growth from an increasingly distorted trunk or bole. Pollarding prolongs a tree's life, but the continuous cutting makes them take on grotesque forms. Cow's udders, a pair of buttocks gliding into a hollow, old man's balls, a phallus between thighs, great, heavy, warty growth, and welts like parted vulva. I stumbled on one that was the spitting image of Bart's bottle-sucking baby sister Maggie from The Simpsons. Alone as I often was in the heart of the darkening wood, the deformed shapes added to my disconcerting awareness that as I was surrounded by thousands of living beings, connected by the invisible network of mycelium fungi through which they communicate, send warnings, and share nutrients. I felt as if the forest ought to hum, to be whispering around me, to sound alive. But I stare up at the trees and become lost in the whole magical, gigantic organism, silent aside from the sigh of the wind through a billion bare winter twigs. Mute to the human ear it might be, but as my walks increased in frequency, my internal conversation with the place ebbed and flowed from a whisper in a silent glade to a rage in the heart of a storm.
It's just, and nature here is vile and base. I wouldn't see anything erotical here. I would see fornication and asphyxiation and choking and fighting for survival and growing and just rotting away. Of course there's a lot of misery, but it is the same misery that is all around us. The trees here are in misery and the birds are in misery. I don't think they sing, they just screech in pain.
German film director Werner Herzog is quite right. There is no morality to nature. It just is, and we may do what we will within it as constituent elements. The philosopher René Megard said, "In the forest, I am in my entire self. Everything is possible in my heart, just as it is in the hiding places and ravines. Thickly wooded distance separates me from moral codes and cities." Epping Forest has no rules aside from those which were imposed upon it in the form of bylaws marked up on boards around the car parks. Yet more powerful even than these are the unspoken societal codes as to what constitutes appropriate behaviour within nature. The idealised view of nature often has at its heart a desire to push away other people. It's claimed that this is for the good of the hillside or forest or so on, but really it seems it's just good for the individual. It's often as if, in a beautiful place, you're in a queue of others waiting for you to get out of the way so they might take a picture or gain maximum edification. The Epping Forest Archives offered up a sensational array of human stories that had played out under its cover in a century and a bit since it was protected for the betterment of the people of London. But these citizens hadn't done what they were supposed to do and used nature to cleanse the dirt from their supposedly modern minds. Epping Forest was safe for the people of London, but London couldn't help but keep breaking through, disrupting nature with its human instinct for dirt, vice and volume. The appearance of so many Londoners in the forest had caused consternation among locals in what had been previously a fairly remote and rural area. In June 1875, the East London Observer complained that visitors enjoy the scenery less than the mild ale and other strong potions available in the local inns, while some of them make night and day hideous in their going and returning. from the East End were taken to the forest for their health and improvement, but they'd be followed by locals with water carts, washing the streets behind them. The Victorian popular press devoted column inches to the nightmare of what they called rowdyism, printing vicious tirades against working class visitors to the forest. Much of this was a reaction to the physicality of the people, their perceived baseness, their dirty bodies and minds corrupted, supposedly, by poverty and sin. There was the thinly disguised anxiety that the assembled multitudes of EastEnders were a strong gin or a bawdy song away from disappearing into the woods to fuck.